In-depth overview. Just so you know, I'm about to scare some of you off. I know. I'm a terrible salesman. Here's the deal, though. I didn't build this school so it could be another cookie-cutter platform for courses. This class, in fact, this whole school, is for serious students only. Before we get to the details of the class material, I should tell you a little bit about MSDS classes in general. They're hardcore, and only the strong survive. But no, seriously, our classes are not a joke. Theory is minimized in favor of real-world practical applications. No generic content, ever. Class material is opinionated. The answer of "it depends" is usually unacceptable. There may be more than one way to skin a cat, but there is usually a best way, and that's what we teach. You can learn all the other ways on the job. Even simplistic topics like basic syntax are littered with tips, tricks, and tactics from real-world implementations. You leave most classes with knowledge on how to solve specific business problems instead of general information on theory with no practical experience. In the case where you have a theory class, it's usually to prepare you for a practical application class. Lecture lengths are standardized to help you plan your learning. Lectures are 50 to 60 minutes in length, plus or minus some variance depending on how long-winded I'm feeling. No dripped content. Learn at your own pace. Classes are created to mimic the density of information you'd get in a traditional university class. The time commitment expectation follows the traditional formula of 2 hours of study for every 1 hour of lecture. Most courses have a lab element that allows you to practice your skills. We know some people like to code right in the browser window during lectures. We don't like that. During lecture, we want your full attention. You can go play later. DEng 100 is not a casual learning experience. If you want that, there is Udemy, Coursera, YouTube, DataCamp, the list goes on. DEng 100 is an academically rigorous, fully graded, experiential learning lab educational opportunity. MSDS is built to be a school with all the stuff the word school implies. There are quizzes, midterms, finals, and homework. The quizzes aren't click-through blow-off quizzes that you find in many online learning opportunities. The pool of questions that testing is being created from is large enough that you won't just be able to memorize answers if you fail a quiz. You're going to have to actually know the material. Here's the good news, though. You can't fail out of the class. If you're persistent and you eventually pass whatever exam you're working on, you'll be allowed to advance. You're probably wondering why I'm being so hardcore about this. You're probably all like, "Bro, just give us videos." No. Here's the thing. We're happy to hand out Gimme course completion certificates in our seminar classes. For our full-blown hardcore "you gonna learn today" courses, not so much. A course completion certificate from MSDS for one of our full-length courses doesn't just mean you watched a bunch of videos and clicked through some easy quizzes that you probably just guessed on half the answers anyway. What a course completion certificate from MSDS means is that you've demonstrated mastery of the material. Not at a superficial level, a completion certificate means you really know your stuff. I could say some stuff here about protecting the academic integrity of the school, but I'm not wearing my chancellor hat right now. I'm wearing my professor hat, and the reasons for all this are a bit more personal. If you're going to walk around planet Earth with a piece of paper with my name on it that says you learned something, you darn well better believe that you're definitely going to learn something. Okay, now that I've done my get off my bus speech, and you're still here, I can lighten up a bit and tell you what's actually in this course. Pure gold, my friends. Pure gold. There is a lot of information in the syllabus, which I encourage you to read in detail. I think if you look at the syllabus for this class and compare it to some other database classes, you can really see how much more you're getting with this class. If you review the syllabus, you'll notice some weird stuff. The weird stuff is there because I'm weird. I don't polish the stuff up just because it's pre-recorded. You're getting the full-on Bob experience, just as if we were sitting in a KU lecture hall right now. That means you got to put up with my quirks, and one of my quirks is using aviation terms as building blocks for metaphors. The entire syllabus is built using Air Force flight training as a metaphor. Just like the syllabus for SUPT, the syllabus for DEng 100 is constructed as a progression where one lecture builds on previously developed skills and concepts in prior lectures. I'm not teaching you things at random. I'm not teaching you topics in isolation. Everything is connected and integrated with the ultimate goal of producing a fully qualified database software engineer. In Unit 1, we start you off in the classroom. You're going to learn some database theory, then we're going to teach you what all the buttons and switches on SQL Server do before we actually let you touch anything. In Unit 2, we're going to teach you ANSI SQL. That's plain vanilla platform independent SQL. You can take these skills and use them with any relational database. Unit 3 is where we get serious. In addition to learning SQL Server's implementation of SQL, I start teaching you tools, techniques, and tactics that will actually allow you to do really powerful things with the T-SQL programming language. Unit 4 is where I take you from being an average Joe or Josie developer and turn you into a serious force to be reckoned with in the job market. You won't just be able to write SQL, you'll also be able to write high-performing SQL. You'll be able to fix servers if they break, and the fix is relatively easy. You'll be able to speak intelligently about any number of advanced topics that just aren't found in other generic SQL classes. Here's what I'm going to give you with this class. 1. Full knowledge transfer. 20 years of writing database software. Out of my head and into yours. It's not as crazy as it sounds. For all my education where I learned to solve any problem, when I hit the real world, I wound up solving the same problem over and over. Data is over here, and it has to go over there. In terms of making that happen in a medium data use case, I can totally drop that info in 24 hours of lecture, no problem. 2. I'm going to give you the ability to bring effective data ops to your future or current employer. To learn what data ops is and why it's important, please deposit $19.99 in the slot. Nah, I'll tell you now. Data ops is a software development philosophy and methodology that enables rapid delivery of analytic solutions. What? Churn high-quality stuff out faster. Listen, this stuff isn't a joke. Analytics is hard. One of the things making it hard is that people are bad at it. Full stop. I know I sound really negative right now, but I literally started teaching online because I keep meeting people in organizations that were so gosh darn bad at delivering analytics. So I'm going to be handing you some tools and techniques that are relatively rare in the workforce. Just imagine. As an entry-level data engineer, you wind up being a subject matter expert on a topic on day 1 for no other reason than you took the time to learn it when others didn't. 3. I'm going to teach you how to load a data warehouse. And I don't mean I'm going to walk you through some generic example that only works on toy data sets. I'm going to show you exactly how I do this stuff in the real world at a level of detail rarely, if ever, found in other places. We'll be using example databases, but these techniques are currently responsible for moving data around several regional and national corporations, and at least one international conglomerate as we speak. Billions of records every night being moved around, and I'm going to give you my secret sauce. We're not just going to stick to an example database. I have a whole ecosystem set up that mimics a real-world environment. We're going to practice pulling in third-party data and then spitting it back out for consumption by another process. We're going to look at pulling data down from secure FTP servers. We'll play with various file formats. We'll put together a master data management solution that combines the same data from various systems. And the cool thing is, I'm going to do it all in 20 hours of lecture. Not 70, not 90. 20 hours. Bet that up. In order to earn the certificate of completion for this course, you have to pass a final exam. The exam is optional, but if you want the certificate proving you passed, you have to jump through this final hoop. Exams are administered by a third party called ClassMarker. Instructions on how to access the exam are at the end of the class. The exam has a nominal fee of $1, literally the lowest I could make it. You get 2 chances to pass. If you fail twice, I make you pay another $1. The moral of the story is, study. The final is comprehensive. However, it is strictly multiple choice, so it shouldn't be that scary. In any given lecture quiz or unit quiz, All material covered to that point is fair game. That means, as you progress through the course of study, you can expect to see the same question more than once. If you're killing it in the quizzes, the exam should be no big deal. Even so, you'll be provided with the study guide to prepare for the exam. I encourage you to earn the certificate. Certificates do not expire. As we build this school out, your certificate can be based as proof that you passed a class, and it might prevent you from having to retake it as part of a future program. That's the 10,000-foot view. Everything else is details, and taught in support of those three objectives. You're going to get ANSI SQL. You're going to get T-SQL. You're going to get some Python. You're going to learn SQL Server fairly well. You're going to learn how to fix things when they break. You're going to learn the stuff that you can't find in a book or online. You're going to get a little data modeling knowledge, just enough to be dangerous, because we don't teach full lethality data modeling until DENS 200, Data Architecture Principles and Practices. You're going to get everything you need to walk into an organization and on day one, start creating data warehouse solutions against existing data warehouses. To learn how to create data warehouse solutions from scratch, please deposit another $19.99 in the slot. Let's talk about why you should take this course.